All right, we've got to talk about SpaceX as frankly, this is peak bubble action and is absolutely insane. And I want to show you guys what people are saying and the latest news. So first, this is from Elio Trades. He says, buying SpaceX at 230 is like buying Bitcoin at 230. It's only day 3 of trading, and that's like buying the day after Bitcoin launched. So I would agree. Buying SpaceX is just like Bitcoin, just like Dogecoin, just like any other crypto. And you can read how you want. For me, this is a massive bubble the same way crypto is crypto AI. And now apparently we're all buying SpaceX. And when you start to see all the bros start coming out of the woodworks, that is definitely bubble time, right? Strength Plan says everyone better buy SpaceX to 200 before we go to 1,000, right? Going to 1,000. Not financial advice, but you got to be crazy not to buy SpaceX stock. So again, this is what peak bubble sounds like when people are like, you can't lose, you got to be crazy not to buy in, right? That kind of stuff. This person says, this is the Gublio investor. I have never thought that I will say this, but Elon Musk said that SpaceX can reach 1 trillion in revenue by 2030. 1 trillion revenue means 10,000 share price. Seems like the entire US stock market is currently worth more, near 75 trillion, and SpaceX alone will be worth more than that. Wow. Just think about this. It's insane. Time will tell. This is the crap you see on social media. So now we're saying that SpaceX is going to be worth more than the rest of the entire stock market. But at this rate, sure. If that's what they want to live in, let's just sell everything else and all own SpaceX, I guess. SpaceX hit 3 trillion market cap today. This means Elon Musk made more money in the last 24 hours than Warren Buffett made in his entire lifetime. Insane. Yes, it's insane. Again, this is what peak bubble looks like. So where are we? SpaceX gains 10% in the pre-market, trading after 20% spike on Monday. You guys can let me know in the comments where we are by the time you see this video. But it's going bonkers. We're in the pre-market. The markets have yet to open, and everyone's just like, okay, how crazy is this going to get? This was just announced, okay? So Elon Musk, SpaceX, right? Wall Street, they see what's going on. They can see the price. And so now it's time to start acquiring companies. Use your new stock wealth to basically grab, assets out there. SpaceX cements $60 billion deal to take over AI startup Cursor. And basically this company, it's like a coding company, and evidently they're going to try to catch up, meaning that Elon Musk and SpaceX and his XAI and all that stuff, try to catch up to OpenAI and Anthropic, who have a big lead on them regarding coding stuff. It sounds like they're basically going to use stock to buy this thing. That's what it sounds like to me. I'm just reading it here. Cursor investors will have the right to receive SpaceX stock based on implied 60 billion equity value of Cursor. So that's what it sounds like. Whether or not SpaceX is like printing up shares to get this, it remains to be seen. It's just what it sounds like to me. And in my opinion, SpaceX, like when your stock is soaring like this, you got to figure out ways to either offer stock, basically dilute people, basically print stock, dump shares on people to get cash while it's there, right? While you got buyers, get that money 100%, right? So I'm sure they'll do that. Or I'm sure they'll use some sort of stock-based compensation to, attract employees. Hey, come join our company. We'll give you a bunch of stock. Or just outright take companies. Hey, come here, Cursor. We'll give you a bunch of stock. And then you got this crazy action where this is like the biggest wealth gain among the richest people in the world in history. It says world's biggest fortunes soar by record 336 billion in one day. So basically the richest people in the world got even richer, and it's increasing. We haven't seen this before. This is like historic. So this is what bubbles look like. And there's a major wealth gap brewing here. It's been like that for a while, but it's only increasing. And like, how long will this be sustainable? Elon Musk's net worth is like 1.2, nearly 1.3 trillion, which is really a lot. And that's basically 4 times the next person, which is just ludicrous. I think anyone can figure this out. This is like ludicrous kind of stuff. But this is the world that we are in. All right, so then you got Elon Musk pumping himself up. He's showing videos of Ron Barron. I showed that before on the channel. Ron Barron's like, oh, I'm all in on SpaceX. That's so awesome, right? Fantastic. And then Elon Musk is a bit of a hypocrite, or how you want to call it. We'll just say this. While he's tweeting out videos of billionaires pumping up himself, then he's tweeting out why welfare is not good and why we shouldn't, help regular people. Seriously, this is the kind of stuff that he tweets out, right? He's like, why welfare programs backfire completely. Welfare state's so bad, it's destructive, right? That's the kind of crap that he does. And then he goes on to tell you that he's going to have the make our sun sentient to understand the universe and extend the light of consciousness to the stars. It's completely whacked out, right? Again, he's got billionaires pumping him up. He says basically no money for you. I hate the welfare state. I hate helping other people. But hey, I'm going to make our sun sentient and also go after government contracts. It's insane.
Actually, first, let's start with space. SpaceX jumping again this morning in pre-market trading. Shares climbing 20% yesterday. The company's market value is now more than $2.5 trillion, putting it amongst the top 6 largest companies in the world. Now, we're joined by Neil Campling, our senior strategist focused on tech. Neil, thank you for joining us. So, look, appetite for SpaceX shares, it's pretty strong. Is it going to abate at some point, or how big can the company get?
There's definitely, obviously, an element of euphoria and halo effect at the moment. One thing to be aware of is today will mark the first day that options trading begins around the stock. So if people want to position accordingly for a longer term scenarios in terms of whether it's a higher or lower pricing, they can do that. We spoke to some hedge funds this morning who did say that there is no stock available to borrow. So if hedge funds did want to take an aggressive position against the company, they're unable to do that yet so far.
So that's the key right there, okay? If you understand what he's talking about, I believe options trading opens today, meaning that for the first couple of days, you could basically only push the stock up. Basically, you buy the stock because there weren't a lot of sellers. There's a lockup there. And you couldn't short the stock. And they were saying, like, I talked to some hedge funds, I was like, dude, we can't short the stock. We like this for the stock. We can't short the stock. And then they're basically saying, options open today. And he kind of, danced around it, but basically saying, if you want to play to the downside, you can start doing that today. And I've seen different things in this stuff. Everyone's putting different stuff out there, but it's kind of roughly the same idea. So this person says only 5% of the SpaceX stock is floating right now. Okay. 95% is locked. Okay. So there's not a lot of sellers out there. And then you also, there's not a lot of shares out there to borrow if you want to short it. So IPO 5%, and then you got August 11th, wave 1, 20% unlocked, and then it goes on down the line, right? So like every 10 days or whatever is going to unlock. And it also is going to depend on when they do their earnings report, because if the stock is, I think, trading above 30% or something of that nature for 5 days after earnings or something like that, then more will unlock. I just, at the moment, I don't think a lot of people can sell. And then also too, they scared retail investors of like saying, hey, if you buy the stock and then if you sell it, you can't access IPOs in the future. So, and every brokerage is a little bit different on that. I've heard different things from, say, someone said they had a brokerage in UK, so that was different. So is that, and then there was this like crazy number. They were talking about like more people bought stock, retail bought stock of SpaceX like one day than they did all last week of trading for retail. It's basically, they traded this like quite a lot. It's the whole thing's insane. And then even Kramer's chiming in on this. He's saying SpaceX stock found for sale at 212 level. Can it open that high? We have to see that happen. Maybe it's okay to you, but I would hate to see a meme stock, what SpaceX has become, so literally it's called the meme stock, walk to the size of NVIDIA over series overnight moves with no sellers. But that seems to be the goal, maybe early release of those who want to go. I am uncomfortable watching a stock go up 10 points in a couple of hours of trading, and I like the stock. That's according to Kramer.
Washington, Silicon Valley. We're going to be doing a $75 billion IPO with a valuation of close to $2 trillion for a company with revenues of $19 billion, negative free cash flow. So this is really, excuse me, this is really a hopes and dreams IPO. And I think it's an important bellwether for the market as a whole, particularly the tech sector, because the company is not worth, my opinion, 1.75.
So basically, you ask anyone, we all know it's overvalued. Okay, I think even people who are buying it know. The sad thing is there are some people who are retail that really do believe all the hype that you see online. Oh my God, it's going to be 10 trillion, 20 trillion, 50 trillion, worth more than the whole world. Oh my God. I mean, obviously it's nonsense. You're talking about a company that's losing money, and then now they're, acquiring companies to catch up because they're behind. It's insane. And then their pipe dreams and goals or space, data center space. If you want to say orbital data centers, you can say that. Moon bases, Mars bases. You got the CEO who's an addict. He's also old. I haven't mentioned that for a while. He's 55. So the question would be, how many more years do you think he's got in him to seriously run the company if you love the dude, right? In my opinion, actually, I think his companies would be better off if he left and just like, let someone else run the show. But I get it. Then the stock would collapse because you're only buying it because he's good at hyping stuff.
$1 trillion based on any reasonable assumptions over the next 5 years. This is a company that's being built on the TAM of not only space, but AI. And I think that's what has everybody sort of fascinated, but also a little bit on edge.
So does it mean that you would short SpaceX?
I have to see where it trades first. But the idea is that the company is getting a huge premium based on the CEO. We already have a company that's out there in the marketplace, Tesla, that trades on the same premium to the CEO, right? Based on promises like robotics and full self-driving, autonomous software. So we have a bit of a template.
And so basically what he's saying in a polite way, and he's good at talking polite, right? Even if he does cough, hopes and dreams, right? But this is all based on the promises that don't come true. And if you convince enough people to buy your stuff, sure, you can trade on, basically hype and the idea that I buy it, I'm a fool, but I get a bigger fool to buy it. It's basically crypto at this point. So how long will this last is the question. And right now, no one can really short it. At least the hedge funds were saying, as of like a few hours ago. But again, option trades are coming in, and then you're going to be able to do puts probably. I think that'll be the interesting play. Now, here's this. This is even like King Fluffer Farzad, which we talk about every now and then. He's even tweeting out, SpaceX's first red day is going to be an absolute massacre. Yeah, it will be. Here's an idea for you. It says, SpaceX's market cap crossed above $3 trillion today in the after-hours trading. That's higher than the market cap of Amazon and Microsoft, right? As if that makes any sense. Microsoft sales, $318 billion. Microsoft net income, $125 billion, give you some idea. Amazon sales, $743 billion. Amazon net income, $91 billion. So here's comparison then. SpaceX sales, $19 billion. SpaceX net income, negative $9 billion. So this shows you like how grossly overvalued this thing is. But you're going to be hard pressed to find anyone that's like, oh my God, this is definitely worth it. At the moment, it's just trading on momentum. And yeah, if you got enough people to buy it and are willing to buy it and then willing to gamble, sure. But how long will that last? That's what a bubble looks like. So that's my thoughts on this. I'd like to hear yours, and I'll catch you on the next video.